Howdy partners, how's it going? Gorgeous day, beautiful sunshine. I'm wearing this ridiculous Panama hat because the medication that I have to take makes me a bit sensitive to the sun, so that's why I'm wearing it. Anyway, I'd much rather be making a gardening video showing you how to plant tomatoes or some such thing, but as some of you possibly know, 2 years ago I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is bone marrow cancer. So I've gone through quite a lot of treatments. I've done 4 months chemotherapy, and then I did a stem cell transplant. And usually they say a stem cell transplant is good for 6 months to, if you're lucky, up to 5 years. And my stem cell transplant stopped working after 18 months. You get blood tests every couple of months afterwards, and the last blood test, all the numbers were much too high, and that was indicating that the myeloma was back again and being active. So because the stem cell transplant is not working anymore, my next option is, first of all, do some more chemotherapy just to get the cancer under control a little bit. A couple of months chemotherapy. I've got it tomorrow. It's a funny thing, the chemotherapy, I get it Thursday and Friday, feel great on Saturday, feel okay on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday you just feel like death warmed up, and then by Wednesday, when it's almost time for you to do your chemotherapy, you get back onto feeling just about okay, which is today. But anyhow, when this chemotherapy is finished, then I'll do something called CAR T therapy, and that's similar to stem cell therapy. Certain cells are collected from my blood, and then they are taken away and they go to a biotechnic firm, so genetic modification firm, which is actually Johnson & Johnson. There's a German subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson, and they do the work here. And what they do is they get these cells they've taken out of your blood, T cells are called, and they genetically modify them to attack the cancer. They have little antibodies on there, and they especially go for your cancer, so they're kind of tailor-made to fit your disease. So hopefully will work, and I have to say now I'm absolutely grateful that that option is open to me, because it's super expensive. My insurance is paying for it, but if you didn't have insurance it would cost around $500,000, and if you were from a third world country or even a second world country, I don't know, only rich countries can afford to do it anyway. And if I was a third world country, the option wouldn't even exist. So I'm absolutely, totally grateful about that. But there is a sort of a weird caveat on this thing. You know, at the moment, America's not so loved in the world, is it? By what's going on in America, it's in a funny situation, let's just put it like that. But so much of American business is entrenched in our lives. If you use your phone, it's probably a Android, Google. If you use a computer, it's Microsoft or Apple, and lots of things. The really important stuff, the Americans have got a finger in the pie. And the way we live at the moment, we couldn't live without the this American technology. Even just now, this video you're watching on an American platform, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff, social media, and it extends out to big pharma. And I've got nothing against Americans, but you know, the fascist side of it now is getting a bit weird. But yeah, let's leave the politics out of it. But we're just talking about big pharma, and they will have some of my cells to do with what they want to do with. You know, they will genetically modify them, but they can also keep those cells for research, things like that. And it all gets a bit Black Mirror then, you know, because okay, if you've got a AOL or an Apple computer, it's still outside of you, but one of these little bit of, is it copyrighted? I'm not sure if they're copyrighted or what, but whatever they've done to my cells, that belongs to Johnson & Johnson still. And so if you could imagine looking into my body afterwards, there'll be some cells like floating around with like a stamp on them saying Johnson & Johnson. And to have that as part of your body as well, it's quite a strange feeling, almost Black Mirror-esque in a way. But as I say, it's absolutely academic and bollocks to the politics of it. You know, I'm going to say, do whatever you've got to do to keep me alive, and survival's the topmost priority, isn't it? Or I could get be some kind of bleeding heart and say, I refuse to do that because it's against the ethics of my thoughts, and you know, come forget it. You're gonna do what you've got to do to stay alive. But my silly entropy mind starts thinking about what happens in 10 years' time when AI becomes even more developed and AI begins to do these genetical bio experiments, because that's how it's going to go, you know, that's the way it is. And I'm just thinking these cells that the Johnson & Johnson and I own, or they own, if they wanted to somehow create some kind of in vitro Gary Entropy, you know, they could do things. I don't know if it's possible to grow a person from these cells. You know, we all heard about Dolly the sheep and stuff like that, but now it's becoming real. And I just imagine some kind of in vitro, in a bioreactor developed version, grown body of Gary Entropy, not with my mind of course, but you know, with my cells. And for what uses that could be used for, it's quite a weird thought, and as I said, Black Mirror-esque, but still it interests me just to think about it. Being the acme of a company man, because part of the company is in your body. Would it be any different if you had an artificial heart built by I don't know, Ford or something? You'd be part of Ford, I don't know. But just that the fact that these cells are inside your body then and part of you, and that's also part of Johnson & Johnson. It's a weird thought. It's like cradle to grave big pharma, isn't it? You start off with Johnson's baby oil rubbed on your nappy rash, and on your way out you get Johnson & Johnson bio technologyized cells in your body. It's a wonderful thing to be part of in a way. You know, it's the future. It's like Steve Austin, the Bionic Man. We can rebuild him. And it's only been allowed since 2022 in Germany, but You know, it's reasonably safe, or they wouldn't be doing it. And yeah, there's lots of things that can go wrong, but yeah, you got to trust the doctors. I'd like to have a proper chat with it about the doctor, but the doctors just follow protocols. They're busy, and in the end tomorrow I'll just nod and say yes, yes, and sign the form. What else can I do? But it still makes me interested and perks my curiosity to be almost not quite a hamster, not quite a guinea pig, I mean. You know, to be part of this new technology. It's interesting, and you know, hopefully it works and I get a bit more time. Sorry if this video is a bit going all over the place, but just it is what it is. Have a great day yourselves, and if anything interesting happens, I will let you know.